The garden was bathed in the soft glow of dawn, the air fragrant with blooming flowers. The Buddha sat in quiet meditation, his presence radiating serenity that calmed all who approached. Disciples gathered around, eager to learn the wisdom carried in his words. Profound and gentle, the Buddha's gaze fell upon a single flower blooming in the midst of the greenery, vibrant and pure. "Observe this flower," he said softly. "Its beauty shines like a beacon, captivating the heart and delighting the senses." His words wove through the disciples, stirring their curiosity to unravel the layers of his teaching. One disciple, Ananda, leaned forward, his brow furrowed in thought. "Master," he asked, "what does the beauty of this flower teach us about the nature of existence?" The Buddha smiled, his expression reflecting endless compassion and understanding. "The flower is a reminder," he began, "that beauty is fleeting, a gift given by impermanence." The disciples exchanged glances, their expressions a mixture of awe and contemplation. The Buddha continued, "Today, its petals glow, vibrant with life. Tomorrow, they will fade, falling to earth, nourishing the soil." His voice was calm, yet imbued with a depth that compelled the listeners to absorb every word. A gentle breeze stirred the leaves, causing the flower to sway gracefully. The Buddha gestured toward its movement, saying, "Even the wind whispers the truth of change. Nothing is immune to the flow of time." Silence settled among the disciples, allowing his words to resonate deeply within their minds. Ananda asked again, his tone tinged with curiosity and concern, "Master, does impermanence mean we must feel sorrow for all we hold dear?" The Buddha's smile returned, gentle as ever. "Not sorrow," he said, "but understanding. To see clearly is not to grieve, but to appreciate without clinging." His gaze rested upon the flower once more, its petals fluttering in the breeze. Clinging binds the heart in chains of fear, for change will come regardless of our desires. The disciples nodded, their faces showing the first glimmers of awakening to the lesson before them. The flower lives fully, the Buddha continued, basking in the sunlight, drinking in the rain, untroubled by the impermanence of its bloom. His words painted an image of existence unhindered by fear or resistance. Embracing the natural cycle of life, another disciple, Mahakashyapa, asked softly, "Master, how can we live without clinging, when the heart seeks to hold on to what it loves?" The Buddha closed his eyes briefly, his expression serene, then spoke, "To love without attachment is the path to freedom, a way to honor all existence." The disciples murmured among themselves, their voices mingling with the sounds of nature around them. The Buddha continued, "Impermanence is not a curse, but a gentle reminder of the preciousness of each moment." His tone carried warmth, instilling hope in the hearts of those who listened. A bird sang nearby, its melody weaving through the stillness of the morning. The Buddha pointed toward the sound, saying, "Even the song of the bird is transient, yet it brings joy to all who hear it." His words illustrated the essence of his teaching, embracing impermanence with grace. "The flower's wilt is not its end," the Buddha said, his voice steady. "It is a continuation, a transformation into new life." He gestured toward the earth, rich and fertile, and the disciples began to see the interconnectedness of all things. "The soil nourishes the flower," the Buddha explained, "and the flower, in its passing, nourishes the soil, a cycle without beginning or end." His words carried the weight of universal truth, uniting all existence in a dance of change and renewal. Ananda gazed at the flower, his eyes reflecting newfound understanding. "Master, I see now that impermanence is the heartbeat of life itself," he said, his voice trembling. The Buddha nodded, his expression calm and pleased. "To see is to awaken. To awaken is to live wisely." The disciples sat in contemplation, the teachings settling into their hearts like seeds planted in fertile ground. The Buddha continued, "The flower's bloom, though brief, is no less beautiful for its impermanence. In its fragility lies its strength." Another disciple spoke, her voice thoughtful and earnest. "Master, does this understanding bring peace to the soul?" The Buddha's gaze rested upon her, his eyes kind and wise. "Peace arises from accepting change as it is, without resistance." The breeze grew stronger, rustling the leaves and causing the flower to sway more visibly. The Buddha said, "Even now, the flower dances with the wind, unafraid, unresisting, flowing with the rhythm of existence." His words carried an elegance that inspired admiration in all who heard them. The garden seemed alive with the teachings of the Buddha, nature itself a participant in the unfolding wisdom. The disciples felt their hearts grow lighter, their minds clearer, as the truth revealed itself like sunlight breaking through clouds. Ananda asked once more, his voice filled with gratitude, "Master, how can we carry this understanding into the world beyond this garden?" The Buddha replied, "Let your actions reflect the harmony of impermanence, honoring all life with kindness and wisdom." His words echoed through the garden, leaving an indelible mark upon the hearts of his disciples. The Buddha's teachings on the flower became a cornerstone of their understanding, a lens through which they viewed the world. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, the disciples sat in silence, reflecting on the morning's lesson. The Buddha's presence remained a steady beacon, guiding them toward enlightenment. The flower continued to bloom, its beauty unchanged, yet richer in meaning for those who had listened. In the garden of Jetavana Monastery, impermanence became a source of joy, a gentle warning and a profound truth. The Buddha rose, his movements graceful, and walked away, leaving his disciples to meditate on the lesson. The air was filled with a sense of peace and possibility, the promise of change embraced with open hearts. The flower's wilt became not an end but a beginning, a doorway to deeper understanding and connection. The teachings of the Buddha endured, resonating in the souls of those who heard them and the generations to come. The garden remained a sacred space, the Bodhi tree a silent witness to the wisdom shared beneath its branches. The Buddha's gentle warning lived on, a testament to the power of impermanence and the beauty of existence. Another day, the Buddha walked through the vibrant market of a bustling city, his serene presence drawing curious onlookers. The noise of merchants and buyers filled the air, a symphony of human voices woven with the clinking of coins. The Buddha's steps were deliberate, his expression calm, as he observed the myriad sights and sounds around him. A wealthy king approached, his robes adorned with golden threads, his face marked by unease. "Master," the king began, his voice trembling, "I am consumed by fear of losing my treasures, my wealth, my kingdom." The Buddha paused, his gaze resting upon the king with kindness and understanding. "Come with me," he said, his tone inviting, "and let us walk together." The king followed, his opulent attire contrasting with the Buddha's simple robes, his steps uncertain yet hopeful. They reached the riverbank, where the water shimmered under the golden rays of the sun, flowing endlessly. The Buddha pointed to the river, his hand steady. "What do you see?" he asked, his voice calm and measured. The king replied, "I see the river, flowing swiftly, carrying leaves and branches upon its surface." The Buddha nodded, his eyes reflecting the wisdom of countless lifetimes. "This river holds a lesson for you, O king," he said, "a truth as eternal as its flow." He bent down and cupped some water in his hands, holding it gently for a moment before letting it fall. "To grasp the water is futile," the Buddha explained, "for it will slip through your fingers and continue its journey." The king watched, his brow furrowed in thought, as the water rejoined the river, becoming one with its flow. Your treasures are like this water, the Buddha continued, his voice steady, impermanent, ever moving, and beyond your control. The king's face grew pale as the weight of his fears pressed upon him. But master, he said, how can I find peace when all I value is so fragile? So fleeting? The Buddha's gaze softened, and he placed a hand on the king's shoulder. Peace comes not from grasping, but from letting go, he said. To cling to what is impermanent is to invite suffering into your heart. The king's eyes filled with tears, his fears laid bare before the truth of the Buddha's words. A boat floated by, its passengers laughing as they paddled downstream, their joy a contrast to the king's despair. The Buddha gestured toward the boat, saying, see how they move with the river, not against it, embracing its current. His words carried the wisdom of simplicity, a reminder of harmony found in acceptance. The king sighed deeply, his hands trembling as he spoke. Master, I have spent my life building my kingdom, amassing wealth. Must I abandon it all to find peace? The Buddha shook his head gently, his expression serene. Not abandonment, but detachment, he explained. To care for your kingdom without attachment is to rule with wisdom and compassion. The sun began to dip lower in the sky, casting a warm glow upon the water, illuminating the ripples of the river. Imagine an empty jar, the Buddha said, his voice steady. When shaken, it remains undisturbed, for it holds nothing to be spilled. The king pondered the metaphor, his mind racing to grasp its meaning. The empty jar is your heart, the Buddha elaborated. Free from the turmoil of clinging, it remains at peace. The king nodded slowly, his expression one of tentative understanding, a seed of enlightenment planted within his soul. Master, he said, how can I begin to empty my heart of attachment? The Buddha's smile was gentle, a beacon of hope for the troubled king. Begin by recognizing the impermanence of all things, he said. See them not as possessions, but as gifts to be cherished. The king's shoulders relaxed slightly, his breathing steadying as he listened intently to the Buddha's teachings. Nearby, a child played by the riverbank, his laughter filling the air, his joy untouched by the worries of the world. The Buddha gestured toward the child, saying, see how he plays without fear of the river's flow, embracing the present moment fully. His words painted a picture of innocence and wisdom intertwined, a lesson in living unburdened by the weight of attachment. The heart that clings is like a bird trapped in a cage, the Buddha continued, its wings bound, its spirit restless. The king's gaze fell to the ground, his mind wrestling with the truth unfolding before him. And the heart that lets go? He asked, his voice barely above a whisper. The heart that lets go, the Buddha replied, is like a bird soaring freely, unbound, embracing the vastness of the sky. The king's eyes glistened with emotion, his soul stirred by the imagery of freedom and liberation. Master, he said, I wish to release my heart from its cage. Guide me. The Buddha's expression was one of compassion, his voice steady and reassuring. Begin with mindfulness, he said. See the treasures not as your identity, but as tools to serve others. The king nodded, his resolve strengthened by the Buddha's wisdom, a path forward unfolding before him. The river's current continued its endless journey, a reflection of the impermanence woven into the fabric of existence. Even the river, the Buddha said, is not the same from one moment to the next. It teaches us to flow. The king's breath deepened, his heart lightened by the truth of the Buddha's gentle words. The shadows grew longer, the day nearing its end, as the Buddha and the king stood by the riverbank. Master, the king said, his voice steady yet humble, your wisdom has opened my eyes to the nature of my fears. The Buddha's gaze held the king's, his expression radiating understanding and encouragement. Fear loses its power, the Buddha said, when we embrace impermanence with open hearts, accepting the ebb and flow of life. The king bowed deeply, his heart filled with gratitude, the burden of his fears lifted by the Buddha's teachings. The river's song continued, a melody of change, a testament to the wisdom shared that day. The Buddha turned to leave, his steps quiet yet purposeful, the king following with newfound clarity and peace. The city's noise greeted them once more, the market alive with the vibrancy of human connection and exchange. The king walked among his people, his perspective transformed, his heart free from the weight of clinging. The Buddha's teachings echoed in his mind, a gentle reminder of the path to wisdom and compassion. The river flowed on, its current a constant, its lessons a gift to all who would listen. The sun dipped below the horizon, its light fading, leaving a world touched by the Buddha's timeless wisdom. Another day, the Buddha walked with his disciples along a winding path in the mountains. The air crisp and fresh, the gentle sound of a nearby river accompanied their steps, its melody soothing and constant as it flowed through the valley. The disciples were silent, their minds intent on absorbing the wisdom that flowed from their teacher. The Buddha paused near the riverbank, his eyes reflecting the glimmer of sunlight dancing upon the water's surface. "This river," he began, his voice soft yet steady, "teaches us the essence of life itself, a constant movement, ever changing." The disciples gathered closer, their attention fixed on the Master's words, their hearts eager for enlightenment. A disciple named Sariputta asked, his tone thoughtful, "Master, if all things flow and change, how can we find stability in our lives?" The Buddha's gaze rested upon Sariputta, his expression compassionate and wise. "Stability does not arise from resistance to change," he said, "but from embracing it as a natural part of existence." He gestured toward the river, its current strong yet graceful, carrying leaves and twigs effortlessly downstream. "See how the river flows," the Buddha continued. "It does not cling to the banks, nor does it fear the obstacles ahead." His words painted a picture of harmony and acceptance, a lesson for those who sought peace amidst impermanence. Another disciple, Mahakashyapa, stepped forward and asked, "Master, how can we flow with life as the river does, untroubled by the ever-changing current?" The Buddha knelt by the water's edge, dipping his hand into the stream and letting the water flow through his fingers. "To flow," he said, "is to let go of resistance, to surrender to the rhythm of existence without fear." The disciples watched as the water returned to the river, becoming one with its endless journey, a symbol of unity. The Buddha continued, "Resistance arises from attachment, the desire to hold on to what cannot be held. For all things are transient." His voice carried the weight of universal truth, resonating deeply with those who listened. Sariputta asked again, his voice filled with curiosity, "Master, is letting go not a form of losing oneself, a denial of the self's place in the world?" The Buddha smiled gently, his eyes reflecting the understanding of countless lifetimes. "Letting go is not loss, but liberation," he explained. "To release attachment is to find oneself unbound and free." The sound of the river grew louder, its current strong and persistent, a testament to the wisdom of nature. The river flows not for itself, but as part of a greater whole, the Buddha said, its journey uniting all it touches. The disciples nodded, their faces showing the first glimmers of awakening to the interconnectedness of existence. A bird flew over the river, its wings outstretched, soaring effortlessly with the wind. The Buddha pointed to the bird, saying, "See how it flies, unburdened by the currents of air, embracing its journey with grace." His words carried an elegance that inspired admiration in all who heard them. A reminder of the beauty of freedom, the disciples sat in quiet contemplation, the teachings settling into their hearts like seeds planted in fertile ground. The Buddha continued, "To live as the river flows is to move forward, adapting to change without fear, finding peace in impermanence. His tone was calm and steady, yet imbued with a depth that compelled the listeners to absorb every word. Mahakashyapa asked again, his voice thoughtful and earnest, "Master, does this understanding bring joy to the heart, even in the face of inevitable change?" The Buddha's gaze rested upon him, his eyes kind and wise. "Joy arises not from resisting change, but from embracing it as the foundation of all life," he said. The sun began to dip lower in the sky, casting a warm glow upon the water, illuminating the ripples of the river. "Even now," the Buddha said, "the river flows onward, unafraid of its journey, finding harmony in the rhythm of existence." His words painted an image of serenity and courage, a lesson for those who sought to navigate life's challenges. A fisherman stood nearby, casting his net into the river, his movements fluid and purposeful, an expression of unity with nature. The Buddha gestured toward the fisherman, saying, "See how he works with the river, not against it, finding sustenance in its flow." His words illustrated the essence of balance and mindfulness, a path to harmony in daily life. The shadows grew longer as the day neared its end, the river's song a constant reminder of impermanence. "Master," Sariputta said, his voice steady yet humble, "your wisdom has opened my eyes to the nature of change and the importance of acceptance." The Buddha's gaze held Sariputta's, his expression radiating understanding and encouragement. "Peace arises," the Buddha said, "when we accept impermanence with open hearts, flowing with life as the river flows with time." The disciples bowed deeply, their hearts filled with gratitude, the burden of their fears lifted by the Buddha's teachings. The river's melody continued, a reflection of life's impermanence, a gift to all who would listen. The Buddha turned to leave, his steps quiet yet purposeful, his disciples following with newfound clarity and peace. The mountains stood silent and strong, their peaks reaching for the heavens, a symbol of enduring presence amidst change. The disciples walked among the beauty of nature, their perspectives transformed, their hearts free from the weight of clinging. The Buddha's teachings echoed in their minds, a gentle reminder of the path to wisdom and compassion in a world of change. The river flowed on, its current a constant, its lessons a gift to all who would listen, a testament to timeless truth. The sun dipped below the horizon, its light fading, leaving a world touched by the Buddha's eternal wisdom. They do not give out of obligation but from the love in their hearts. I looked at the villagers, their expressions radiant with joy, and felt a sense of clarity wash over me. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.